Today our guests are Dr. Sandy Reyna, Vice President of Global Medical Affairs at Novartis Gene Therapies, and Kathryn McBride, SMA parent advocate. And they're going to share information on the signs of SMA, the importance of newborn screening and an early diagnosis, and how Zolgensma has the potential to transform the lives of babies born with this devastating genetic disease. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I want to begin with you, doctor. First of all, what is Zolgensma?
Right. So Zolgensma is a gene therapy that has been totally designed and created to treat patients who have been diagnosed with spinal muscular atrophy. And this treatment has to be given, at least for these children, as soon as possible. Right. And so Zolgensma is also indicated for babies who are younger than 2 years of age. And what it does, it is a designed therapy that addresses the root cause of the disease, which is the lack of the SMA1 gene that is not present in these children. And Zolgensma produces a transgene that allows for the expression of a human copy of the SMA1 gene that now will allow for a full-length SMA protein to be expressed in their bodies, which now will support and facilitate motor neuron health. Which obviously connects to muscles and overall well-being of these children.
Now, Kathryn, can you describe your family's journey with Conor's SMA diagnosis?
Yes. So my son Conor, he's a twin. He has a twin sister, and they were born in March of 2020. And at the time, I had opted in to Massachusetts, where we live. They have a newborn screening program here that screens for different conditions such as SMA. So I opted in, and he was screened within 48 hours of birth, along with his sister. And the results came back within 72 hours, showing that Conor indeed did have spinal muscular atrophy, and he had type 1, which is the most serious type. There are 4 types. And his sister did not have the condition. So as a result of this, he was immediately rushed to a different hospital and to be treated by a specialist. And, at the time he was pre-symptomatic. And so the goal was to keep him that way. And so that is how our experience and journey with this started. And it's been quite a journey, but Conor is doing exceptionally well.
Doctor, talking about this, how does it work? How does Zolgensma work?
Right. So Zolgensma has been incredibly designed to target the lack of the SMA1 gene. Right. So that's the gene that produces SMA protein. And so Zolgensma, what it does, it's replacing the function of this missing gene by expressing that SMA protein that every single motor neuron in your body needs. And so Zolgensma is designed to really treat the root cause of the disease, which is SMA1 gene mutation.
Kathryn, what would you want to tell other parents and expectant parents across the country?
So I think it's incredibly important for parents or anyone thinking of becoming a parent to know about newborn screening and to check and see if the state that you live in does screen for SMA. And what does the state screen for? Does your state actually screen newborns? Because some states actually don't. So you can go to curesma.org, and they have incredible resources, including a map showing all the states that do screen and don't screen currently. And then also, I think it's important to have a plan in place and know what to do in case things come back showing that your child has one of these conditions. Just know how to, what are the next steps for you to take to make sure your child can receive treatment as quickly as possible. I think that's critical as well.
Now, doctor, why is newborn screening critical for diagnosing SMA?
Absolutely. Hearing Kathryn speak about her child right now and the fact that he was tested at 24 hours after birth through the newborn screening panel, it just shows immediately the effect it had on Conor's life. So newborn screening is absolutely crucial in every state, that every family hopefully will have the opportunity to have their child be screened through that panel. Identifying these babies early, it means that we now know that this baby is lacking that SMN1 gene, which means that we also understand that motor neurons are going to be suffering from the lack of the SMN protein, which keeps those motor neurons healthy. And so the loss of these motor neurons will happen on a daily basis. So identifying them early, treating them early, will facilitate and provide for better outcomes for these babies to hopefully develop and continue to grow according to their motor milestone age, right? So it is incredibly significant, and it makes a huge impact in a child's life as when they're diagnosed with SMA and when they start treatment.
You know what's interesting, ladies, is here we are, we're talking about Bezos and Virgin going into space and talking about going to the moon, and we've got the Olympics going on, and we talk about the innovation in the Olympics. But we keep forgetting about the innovation and the strides made in medicine. How do you feel about that, especially you, Dr. Enya?
Well, I literally get goosebumps when I hear you ask that question, because I feel like I've been in that journey for the last, 15, 20 years of my career. And I never thought to this day that I would see a therapy for SMA specifically, right? And now just SMA, but also having to be a gene therapy, which, looking back into the history of gene therapy 20 years ago, when it was first tried, it was absolutely dramatic, right, for these families in the results that it had. And it really held back the progression of the development of more SMA therapies. More genetic therapies. And now we have a gene therapy, Zolgensma, that has been literally created. And it's not a simple process. It's incredibly complicated to create this therapy. But we've been able to overcome those barriers through, preclinical studies, meaning studies in animals, and which led into clinical trials, which now it's led to approval of this medication, Zolgensma, so that we can now treat babies with Zolgensma, which will now produce that, transgene over the SMN1, so these babies can have that protein in their bodies. So you can see that the journey for gene therapy has been, out there for a long time, and the success has been very, very small until now. And I think we are also now leading other disease areas to focus that are, interested in gene therapy, to open the door on other diseases, absolutely having gene therapy available for them.
Kathryn, what do you see for the future for Conor? Because I keep thinking of you holding your baby and he's taking those first steps, and I think about the first steps on the moon.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit overwhelming, to be honest, thinking about it, because it just seems surreal. So, I mean, I'm incredibly hopeful for Conor's future. He's such a strong baby. He's such a happy, excited kid. He is a fighter. He, I think, will be a really special guy. I think this will, if you want to look at it in a different way, I think going through all of this and having this will actually really benefit him. And I think he'll be able to really help others, down the road. He's just a special kid, and I'm so excited to see him grow and to thrive. And we're so fortunate. And that's why we share our story. We want to help others, and I want to be able, for other families, to be able to experience what we're experiencing. And so I hope that happens.
My hat's off to you, Kathryn, and Doctor, thank you for the innovation and the medicine that you've done. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you
Thank you very much.